What's up, trekkers? Mikey Bell here with Outdoor Adventure Training, and today we're talking about all of the items that you should carry in your day pack for those iconic high altitude treks. Whether you're headed to Everest Base Camp in Nepal, up Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, or Machu Picchu in Peru, these are some very important items that you should strongly consider bringing with you on your trip. In addition to knowing all of the items that you should carry, you should also have confidence in your body's ability to carry these items, which is exactly why OAT has our Trek Prep program. This is a 90-day training program designed to help you build stability and strength endurance so you can crush your trek with confidence. Okay, we're gonna dive into each item here on the table, starting with outer layers. First, I love bringing a lightweight synthetic puffy jacket. This is the Arc'teryx Atom LT with a hood, super strong warmth to weight ratio, meaning it's very light, super packable, and extremely warm. It's synthetic, which means it's gonna keep you warm even if it gets wet. So if you find yourself hiking in the snow or the rain and it gets a little saturated, you're gonna stay plenty warm and it's gonna dry super quickly. An alternative to this would be a down puffy jacket, which can be great, especially if you're going to high altitude, and I often bring that if I'm going above 15,000 feet or in a climate that is very cold. Next, you're gonna want a waterproof and windproof jacket. This is the Outdoor Research Helium jacket, super lightweight. It's very thin, but waterproof, and that's gonna help keep you dry in case it gets really wet. This is not Gore-Tex, and if you're going to a climate where it does rain or snow a lot, I would recommend a Gore-Tex jacket. Sometimes when you're hiking in a waterproof layer, it's a little bit better than wearing a plastic bag, which means you're gonna be sweating. So sometimes you want something in between these two layers, which is why I absolutely love soft shell jackets. This is a synthetic material that dries super quick. It is not waterproof, but it is water resistant and windproof. So it'll help block that wind. It'll help mitigate any kind of sweating and overheating. A really efficient layer to wear for those high output activities like walking uphill. Moving right along here, it is super important to bring a small first aid kit or a personal blister kit. I have some bandages, some tape, other essential things that I personally like to use. If you're going on an international trek with a guide, guaranteed they're gonna have a big bulky first aid kit, so don't overdo it with this. Remember, ounces lead to pounds and pounds lead to pain. We wanna keep it light. You don't need much. Bring only things that you have used and know how to use. As far as electronics, I don't like bringing a lot out there, but it is important to have some sort of external power block to recharge your cell phone for taking photos. I love tracking with GPS. Make sure you have this with you and the appropriate charging cables. Depending on what time of day you're trekking, it might be a really good idea to bring a small, lightweight, rechargeable headlamp. Personally, when we were trekking in Everest Base Camp, we left super early in the morning several times to beat the crowds, catch the sunrise, and the headlamp is absolutely necessary. Or if your trek runs late into the day and you end up getting benighted, this is a clutch thing that you should always have in your kit. The last electronic that I bring with me on just about every adventure is the Garmin InReach Mini. This is an amazing tool, well worth its weight. Even if it's not for an emergency, if you don't have cell service or Wi-Fi, you can still contact your loved ones, let them know you're okay. There's live GPS tracking. Really an incredible tool that you should have if you're getting out in the field. Next up, we have sun, wind, and dust protection. This is often overlooked, but extremely important. We're gonna start with a lightweight buff or net gaiter. This is an icebreaker merino wool one, which I love because it doesn't stink after a few days out in the field. You can just pull this over your neck, and even just a little bit of this is gonna help keep dust and particulate out. Hiking in Nepal, there's a lot of yak dung and stuff in the air. We don't want that in our breathing ways. You don't want that kumbu cough. The buff is really clutch for that. Next up, we have our oat hat. You gotta get yourself one of these. We have them live on our merch site. Super lightweight, breathable, water resistant hat. Great to keep the sun out of your face. Lastly, for sun protection, we have our sun glasses. When you're trekking at high altitude, you absolutely must have lenses that are dark. The UV rays up there are more intense than they are at sea level. We also want lenses that are tight fitting to the face and wrap around a little bit. This prevents light and dust and wind coming from underneath. And now we can create this impenetrable seal where I don't have any sun hitting my face. This is gonna help mitigate sunburn, and if it's cold out, keep wind off of my face. A pair of lightweight trekking gloves. These are the Black Diamond Mont Blanc gloves. I love these, they're super versatile. I can wear them trail running, backcountry skiing, hiking, really in any environment. I love using these when I'm guiding on the mountain. They got a little bit of grip, which is nice for when you're holding your trekking poles. They are very wind resistant, but not too warm. If you're trekking somewhere where it could be snowing or well below zero, I would recommend a slightly warmer pair of gloves for those days on your trek. A little bit more sun protection. It is really important to bring sunscreen. Everybody should have their own. Even if you're hiking with your best friend or family member, each person should have their own small tube of sunscreen. This is Raw Elements, my absolute favorite sunscreen of all time. Feels really good on the skin, smells great. SPF 30 is plenty for those high altitude treks, and with that, some SPF lip balm and moisturizing lip balm will go a long way. Some personal hygiene stuff. You should bring your own small supply of toilet paper and or wet wipes. This is really, really important to have out there. Don't rely on anyone else to meet those needs for you. And of course, hand sanitizer. Make sure you have plenty with you when you're out there. What I did in Nepal was I carried a small bottle like this, and then I had a big bottle with my porter that I could refill every day. So every single day, I knew I had enough to get me through. Hydration. This is probably the most important corner of this table. You have got to stay hydrated out there, especially if you're going up to high altitudes. This is the #1 thing people blow. You're exerting yourself, you're losing sweat, and you're gonna get dehydrated, which is gonna further perpetuate any chances of altitude sickness. And hydration also encompasses good electrolyte usage. So these are Element electrolyte packets. They have a lot of sodium, potassium, everything you need and nothing that you don't, as Andrew Huberman says, and really awesome things to have with you. I would recommend at least 2 of these per day for those high output days at high altitude. Whether you opt to bring a hydration bladder or not, which we'll get to in a second, you should absolutely carry at least a 1-liter Nalgene bottle. These are tried and true, super durable. They're not gonna fail on you. If you're in a place like Nepal where you have the option to refill your water bottle, but it's not quite safe to drink, that's where the SteriPen can come in clutch. This is a UV water purifier. All you do is turn the button on, stir it around in your water, the UV light turns on, and you're good to drink that liter of water in just 60 seconds. We saved literally hundreds of water bottles by using the SteriPen on our last trek. Getting to the hydration bladder. I'm not dissing hydration bladders. They definitely serve a purpose, especially on long treks where you want to drink water while you're walking. There are some nuances to them, and they do require a little bit of extra care. First, I would highly recommend picking up one of these plastic caps. These are amazing to keep your mouthpiece from getting covered in yak dung or dust, dirt, other stuff and germs that are on the ground. It's really nice to keep that mouthpiece clean. The one issue with these is that they can freeze, which is where an insulated sleeve for your hydration hose can be a game changer to make sure you're staying hydrated all day long. We could not talk about trekking without trekking poles. These are Black Diamond's Alpine FLZ adjustable poles. Amazing for trekking, super lightweight, adjustable grip, and absolutely necessary to have for long days on the trail. And of course, we need a backpack that we love and trust to put all this equipment in, which is why I bring my ultralight Sax backpack on most adventures where I'm looking for that durability and lightweight capability. This roll top function is super easy to get in and out of, and it is waterproof and really durable with this Dyneema material. Now we're gonna load our backpack up and see how much it weighs. All right, we loaded everything in our ultralight Sax pack, and now it's time to weigh it. Okay, we got our nice little scale here. Make sure that's zeroed out, hook it on here. We do have 1 liter of water in here as well, which is 2.2 pounds. Lifting that up, and we are at 9 pounds here. So that's everything we need. Plus I might be wearing one of those layers. I might have my sunglasses on or my buff, but 9 pounds is a very reasonable amount of weight to be carrying on your trek. The #1 thing that I can recommend to you when you're packing to hike day to day on your trek is do not pack your fears. It's very common common, but we want to minimize how much weight we're carrying so we can maximize our experience on the trail. We hope you found a lot of value out of this video. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this with your trekking buddy, and subscribe to the OAT YouTube channel. We got a bunch of awesome content coming your way. We'll see you next time here at Outdoor Adventure Training.